Blog Talk Radio, the world's largest online radio network.
All right, and with the first round pick, no, I'm just kidding. This is the Sports City Chefs NFL Front Office Show. We do have a special show planned for you tonight. This is Sports City's expert fantasy football live draft. We have brought back most of our contestants from last year. We do have a couple new faces, and we'll introduce those faces as we get going, but we definitely need to get going right away. First up on the clock, gentlemen, is Roderick. Roderick, you are on the clock, sir. When you are ready to make your selection, just let it be known. Let me go ahead and start off by saying, while Roderick's taking some time here to make that first selection, we have coverage nationally here, guys, everything from the West Coast to the East Coast. And, oh, yeah, by the way, even over in Europe, Rodri is online with us here. So we'll have a little East Coast, a little West Coast bias, as they say, but maybe a little British bias, if you will, or European bias, if you will. But, Ty, let me start with you as a competitor that's done this a couple years in a row now. What does it feel like here to be in the third annual mock draft?
I'm ready to rumble. That's all. I'm ready to rumble. I'm back. I'm back for what I lost at week 17. I got better taste of defeat. I'm back for a good year. I think I could do some damage this year with some selections. Let's go.
Absolutely, and then also my boy Mark. I haven't been able to be around him, talk with him on a daily basis. Hosts the Sunday morning show. Mark, I know you have a unique name this year for your team. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the name and why are you going to get finally put over the top? I know you had a disappointing year last year.
Yeah, it's good to be on the show tonight. I am bringing in the Madden Jinx. I'm rolling a little superstitious and calling my team the Jinx this year. You know, maybe that means I might draft somebody that's a poster boy or just maybe jinx some people that are going to be on my team. But, I do hopefully I want to achieve a great draft night and hopefully get into the playoffs this year. Last year I just fell short, and I tell you what, there's nothing like being left short on the Sports City Chef playoff list. So hopefully we'll get back there this year, and if you're in it, you can win it.
Absolutely. Well, let me go over to Roderick, who is in the first position here in the draft. This should be a fairly easy one here as we got to get moving. Roderick,
Brian,
are you ready to make your selection?
Hey, Brian, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Foster, for the first one.
How is that possible?
Hold on, gentlemen. Roderick, go ahead. We have a lot of people on the line here tonight, so I'm going to ask you guys to kind of censor yourself because we got to move quick. Roderick, go ahead with the first selection.
Arian Foster.
All right. I need the team name, sir. This is Roger Goodell style. I need team name with the first selection. Let's hear it out.
Child support evaders. Pick Arian Foster with the number
all right.
one pick.
So Sirius is now on the clock. Those darn child support evaders have taken Arian Foster.
Yeah.
James, as my co-host here on the show, what's your thoughts on Arian Foster coming off the board at number one? Do you like the pick?
Of course. It's the hands-down, no-brainer pick. There's only one other guy that could possibly be considered at that spot, and that is and that is Ray Rice, in my opinion. Those are the only two guys that really deserve that number one spot.
All right, well, the number two pick is by your boy Sirius.
You can't say this stuff when you're in the draft.
Heard lingering thought here that Sirius really wanted to take a Steelers player here, so this might be where we see Big Ben come off the board. Sirius, you ready?
Yeah, I'm actually still the president. Yeah, we're going to let Aaron Rodgers, quarterback, Green Bay Packers.
All right, Aaron Rodgers, quarterback, the Green Bay Packers. Justin, you're on the clock. Sirius, let me come to you. Number two overall, the consensus is here that this may be a little high for a quarterback. What was it for you that led to you choosing Aaron Rodgers here at the number two overall pick?
Well, when you look at, the amount of times he's going to be touching the football and the amount of yards he's going to produce, this dude is really a no-brainer this high in the draft. I really did not want to risk, him, try to go up and get him in the second round. There's a lot of good names on the board still, and I can select some other options later on in this draft. I definitely want to solidify that number one quarterback spot. He's very, very durable. So as opposed to other quarterbacks, so I'm definitely going with A-Rod there. I think that was a smart pick for this supposed to be president.
All right, so Sirius goes with a quarterback here at number 2. Number 3 on the clock. We are in round number 1 here at the Sports City Chefs studio. Justin, you're on the clock. Are you ready to make your selection, sir?
Yes, I am. I'm going to take LaShawn McCoy.
All right, and what was your team name, sir?
Huh?
What is your team name?
Main Event.
All right. As Roger Goodell would say, with the 3rd overall pick, Main Event selects LaShawn McCoy. James, you are now on the clock.
I'm ready.
Hold on one sec. Take a half a second because I want to ask Justin. Justin, you just got done hearing James say consensus. Only other consensus number 1 pick is Ray Rice. He was staring you in the face. What caused you to go LaShawn McCoy over him?
Well, Ray Rice is a great running back. I had him last year, actually. But the schedule, the teams that he goes against, and the way he doesn't really get a lot of touchdowns, and I love touchdowns, So I like LaShawn McCoy and what he was able to do last year, and that was more of a surprise. And I think we're going to give him the ball more this year. So I like him as an overall catching and running the ball. So I definitely think he was worth it. I was going to go Aaron Rodgers if he was there, but he was taken, and I like Arian Foster. I did not want Ray Rice. He was never in my thought.
Wow. All right, James, you are now on the clock, sir. I'll go ahead and let you make your selection.
This is the easiest pick I'm going to make all draft. With the 4th overall pick, the Oakland War Pigeons select Ray Rice, the running back from the Baltimore Ravens. That puts Timmy on the clock.
The only thing that would have been better for that name is you could have been the Oakland Dirty Sanchez's or possibly the Oakland War Jets, mixing both of your favorite teams together in one name, James. Ray Rice obviously sitting there for you. I know a guy you consider that if you would have been at number 1 or number 2. Why is he the clear choice here for you?
Well, first of all, the other 2 top running backs are off the board. The running back position is kind of a shallow position this year, as it is going to be for as long as for many years to come. And he's definitely the best one. He's going to be a workhorse runner, and he's going to get a few catches out of the backfield, which is going to help with the PPR segment of this. And on top of that, this is a team that's going to be centralized around Ray Rice. I don't think they're ready to make this a full Flacco offense yet.
All right. Well, with that, Tim, you are on the clock. I know this is probably a decision that you were dreading making. I have a feeling that Sirius may have made it a little easier on you. Tim, you're on the clock here at number 5.
This actually made it really tough. I was hoping that James was going to have to deal with this decision at number 4. Give me Megatron. I may regret it later on, but give me the best receiver in the game.
Shocker.
All right. So Tim goes with Mark's Madden Curse Jinx. And with that, Rorty, you are on the clock, sir, in the chat room when you're ready to make your selection. Feel free to just post it in the chat room. I'm going to come over to you, Tim. I know you didn't take a lot of time with this selection. Was there really anyone else you were considering at this point, or did the draft pretty much unfold like you thought? Were you kind of targeting Calvin all along?
No, actually, I honestly didn't want to do this. I really thought that Rodgers was going to be sitting on the board. I wasn't going to take him, but it would have made my choice a lot easier had James taken Chris Johnson. Then I had to weigh running back depth and basically the best player in PPR last year in Calvin Johnson. And I'm had to go with him. There isn't anyone better. And last year in the PPR, he was the number one player overall. So you can't argue with that, and I'm getting him at number 5. And James, for getting Ray Rice, go to hell.
Our boy from the Far East, Rodri, over there in England, over there in Europe, I should say, excuse me, Rodri, with the 6th overall pick, the Rod Squad selects Chris Johnson, running back from Tennessee. So he's not buying the draft value that some people have, and he's selected him pretty high. Roddy, I agree with you. I've been touting Chris Johnson as a bounce back guy. I love his offensive line, and definitely echo your thoughts that you really believe he's going to have a bounce back year. Good selection for you, Mark. And the Madden Jinx are on the clock. Mark, you have a couple seconds here to kind of collect your thoughts, if you will. Guys, I will say this. I am a little shocked at not necessarily the players that are selected, but the order of which the players have been selected. So it'll be interesting to see how these next few rounds, the quote-unquote elite rounds play out. It'll be interesting to see how people continue to draft forward. But I'm going to go over to Mark now at selection number 7 here in the first round. Mark, where are the Madden Jinxes going with their first pick?
With the 7th selection of the Sports City Draft, the Madden Jinx select Matt Forte, running back, Chicago Bears.
Wow, my
All right,
Matt
Forte coming off the board. Next up is myself. So, Mark, go ahead and take a second here, if you will, just so I can check over my list. But what caused you to go Forte here? A lot of people have him rated in the 2nd round. There's a lot of backs still on the board that were rated higher than him. Why did you go with Forte over some of your other options?
Well, I thought for sure I was going to get Chris Johnson. Rodri took him from right under me. And that's almost switched my gear to start looking at a wide receiver. But to be fully honest, I usually don't like to draft too many Bears players. But I figured, you know what, if I'm going to do it and I'm going to pick Forte, it's going to at least be in a PPR league. I know his receptions will probably be down from how active he was last year because of Brandon Marshall. But I'm scared of Maurice Jones-Drew. And when Chris Johnson came off, I slitted between going wide receiver and running back, and I said, you know what, just take Forte. If he can stay healthy, I think he'll be productive as he always is when he's healthy.
All right. I am up at pick number 8, and my decision definitely was a lot harder than I thought. I expected actually to have a few options that are not available to me to still be on the board, and considering the difficult circumstances that I face with the 8th overall pick, Show Me Your TDs selects Jimmy Graham, tight end out of New Orleans.
What?
Wow. I like it.
Wow. That's the first time I've ever seen a tight end taken that early. Never in my life have I been part of a fantasy team.
That's all right.
You know what, Brian? I'll ask you this one. I'll ask you this one right here. Jimmy Graham in the first round. This isn't unheard of. A lot of experts have been taking him there. 99 catches last year. That's nothing to sneeze at. He puts a wide receiver value at a tight end position. Was there anyone else that was going through your mind at that position, or what really did it for you at the tight end position to take him in the first round?
Well, the thing is it's points over replacement. Like we've talked about this. I'm not in love really with the other running back options here late in the first round. And I'm not going to name specific names, but, whether it be an injury issue, a holdout issue, things like that, I'm just not in love with any of these guys. I look at the New Orleans Saints offense. I think their defense will regress a little bit, which I think is going to cause New Orleans to once again continue to throw the ball. To remove Robert Meacham, And Graham was already the number one option last year, and here he comes into year number 3. I don't think he's fully peaked out yet. And it's not just the reception totals, but I definitely think he could get double-digit touchdowns this year. And I actually have him rated as the second best receiving option. So for me, it made the most sense at this point right now. Ty, you're on the clock. Are you ready for your selection?
Listen, there's no need for that with Timeless. There's no need for that with Timeless.
All right.
Listen. So Mark wants to go Matt Forte. I'm so Detroit that I'm Matt Stafford in this pick. I'm going with Matthew Stafford at number 9, and he wears number 9. I'm so Detroit. Don't you agree?
Are you serious?
Wow.
You know Tom Brady and Drew Brees are out there, right?
Off the board. Barry, I know Barry's pick's ready, but Ty, I gotta ask you. I'm not even gonna name names, but a lot of people would say there's probably 2 quarterbacks who could potentially be rated higher. What made Matt? Can we get the background noise turned down there, gentlemen? Go ahead, Ty.
Calvin Johnson is going to have a decent year. I'm not going to say a blow-up off of the charts year. And you got to look at the perspective of Detroit's offense. Doesn't have a strong running game. They all go toward the passing game. So even if he has a makeshift season, it's in the range of a 37 to a 4,000-yard season. You know what I'm saying? And this is in a mediocre season view. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to have the likes of hitting a better target in Pettigrew, a better target in Burleson, supposedly in Titus Young. You got to think of his offense and Calvin Johnson in his own retrospect. So the passing game will be big, just as big as it is with the Rodgers, Brees, all the other quarterbacks that are out there. I'm just saying, I'm doing Detroit. Number 9, Matthew Stafford will have an effective season in my eyes.
All right, James, coming over to you. Barry the Villain. The Villain actually won this last year. Unfortunately, couldn't be here. So via a list from him, James, who does Barry select?
Via list, the Villains select Darren McFadden, the running back from the Oakland Raiders, as well as Thomas Brady, the quarterback from the New England Patriots. Tyrone Powell is back on the clock.
Hold on. We forgot me.
Who said me?
Walt.
Are we missing somebody here, guys?
Yeah, we missing me.
That was 10 teams. I got them all written down. It's a 10-team league.
What's your team name, homie?
Me too. I got 10 people too.
Yeah,
that was it.
That was it. Yeah, we're back to Timeless on the bend.
All right, sorry about that there, Walt. I'm not sure what happened, but unfortunately, it looks like we don't have you slated in here. We'll try and get you in our casual league that we got coming up. Timeless, I'm coming back to you. What is your next selection, sir?
With the come around pick, the time travelers select Frank Gore.
Frankie Gore.
I like it.
It's actually not that bad of a pick for where he's picking him. I mean, with all these running backs off the board, Frank Gore is all right at that. I'm not gonna.
That is a terrible pick. Terrible.
That is.
What about
terrible.
DeMarcus Murray? Not DeMarcus Murray.
I'm sorry, what was the last pick, fellas?
Frank Gore.
Oh, I'm not going to hear that, am I?
13th overall, we get the 59th overall player selected. All right. So I'm back on the clock here. Timeless, why don't you elaborate? I know you selected him number 2 overall, so I know you believe in the Hurricane, if you will, in Frank Gore. Obviously, you're not concerned about the depth in the backfield. Why did you select Frank Gore here this high when a lot of people believe he's more of a 3rd or 4th round pick?
That is one standpoint that I do look at it with concern, is how he is going to split a lot of carries, because they do have a committee out there. But when he's able to get those runs, he is that type of back that can pick up 5 to 9 yards. He's an effective running back, especially with that offense. They're going to be forced to play a different defense against that offense with Frank, and he's a good running back in the flat. So he gets those receptions and rushes kind of like Foster. So it depends on his touches, but I like Frank's approach in at the second round. I'll take a decent running back that'll see a great amount of the ball with receiving core around him, and Randy Moss and company.
Brian, can I ask something real quick? You know, because being I'm a 49er fan as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
TP, I love the fact that you took one of our guys. I'll be so worried about the way that they have so many running backs. I don't know. But, I mean, I respect I love it. I love the fact that you went from Detroit right to San Fran.
Yeah, you finally came to your senses about players.
That makes me smile, but I don't know if I could have touched Frank.
But I know decent running backs. He's a decent running back.
He is a decent running back, but we got too many that I'd just be so afraid to touch him in the league unless he fell down.
Wait. And plus, Brandon Jacobs just got hurt, so that actually adds to his carry.
He's fine, though. He's going to be back before the season
but don't
starts.
Don't rush him. There's no need to rush him. Make him come back
right,
when
but we
he's
still got 2 other guys.
All right, here we go, boys. I do apologize, but we've almost been on 30 minutes, and we haven't even got through the second round. So moving right along, show me your TDs. With the 13th overall pick, I believe, selects Adrian Peterson, running back from Minnesota. Mark, you're back on the clock.
I'm ready. Let me just announce it.
I've never seen. Wow.
I'm going. You know what? I'm surprised. I'm going to go with. I thought I was going to get him in the first round. I let him slip. This guy's always consistent, and it's PPR league, so I got to lock up a wide receiver. Andre Johnson, Houston Texans.
Well, I forgot about that man.
Johnson.
Wow. Did you say Andre Johnson?
Andre Johnson. That's his name.
Okay.
Take him to the bank. Give me that cane.
Hey.
All right, Rodri, you're on the clock, my friend. This is the Sports City Chefs mock draft for those of you filtering into the chat room. I know this is probably not going to go according to your Yahoo or ESPN ranker. We have our own ranking system, and obviously our system differs a little, but we take players where we believe they're going to what their value is, if you will. So, Rodri, with that, when you're ready for your pick, sir, feel free to post it in the chat, and we'll get that pick right in. Mark, I'm going to go back to you real quick. Andre Johnson, I know a lot of people believe, there's some injury concerns there. A lot of people believe, there is some other wide receivers that are available that may be better options. Why'd you go with Andre Johnson here?
I mean, yes, Andre Johnson, there always has been some durability, right? But when the guy is in the game, he puts up numbers. And I'm willing to wager that the Houston Texans are going to have a good year. He's going to be productive. Especially, he sees what Calvin did, that Calvin has put himself as the top face as a wide receiver this offseason. I said top face. I didn't say, we're not going to get into debate. But, I like Andre Johnson. I haven't drafted him in a few years. Yes, there were some other people that I very strongly considered. I don't want to say their names. It's harder for me to say why I went over certain things, but I felt Andre Johnson's a good, solid number one that you can count on in a PPR league.
All right, and with that, boys, Rodri did make his selection. Rodri went with the young stud quarterback out of Carolina. He selects Cam Newton. Wondering when Cam was going to come off the board. Well, he's came off the board. Right now, Tim, you are back on the clock, sir. Whenever you're ready to make your selection, just let me know.
I'm ready.
All right, then jump on in there.
I'm going with the all-nickname team. So I got Megatron in the first round. I'm going Beast Mode Marshawn Lynch in the second.
Bastard.
Wow. All right.
Suck one, James.
So I'm going to come back to you, Tim. James, you're on the clock, so get ready for your pick. Tim, one more quick question here. What was it that put Marshawn Lynch over the top for you? Because, a lot of people are allowing this guy to slip to the third, fourth round because of suspension. suspension concerns. What was it that put him over the top for you?
He's not getting suspended, number one. Number two, there was 5 running backs who averaged over 20 touches a game. He was pretty much the last one left. So I wanted to get a guy that's going to touch the rock a lot. The touchdown streak he went on was pretty much amazing last year. He put the only one up against the Niners, and that AFC West defense is not great. They're not even sure who the quarterback's going to, or the NFC West defense, but they're not even sure who the quarterback's going to be in Seattle. The only thing they know is Beast Mode's going to be toting the rock, and he doesn't have anyone behind him that's really going to push him for carries or touches. And he gets all his own goal line carries, unlike a lot of the guys like Matt Forte and McFadden and so on and so forth. So I was shocked he fell this far, and I love it. And plus, I know James likes him too. So.
All right. You're on the clock here, sir. Are you ready to make your selection?
I'm ready to make my selection. The Oakland War Pigeons select.
Don't do it to me.
The Oakland War Pigeons select Larry Fitzgerald, wide receiver from the Arizona Cardinals.
All right, Arizona Cardinals wideout Larry Fitzgerald, wideout that is now off the board.
Maybe I don't want to. I feel like I'm gonna be stupid asking this. Did Drew Brees get selected?
No, he did not
get selected yet.
Okay, that's wow. I want Drew Brees.
Wow, is going with Drew Brees. I
wish this was a money league. I wish.
All right. So, Justin, Sirius, you're on the clock. Quick question here. I know the other quote-unquote 4 elite quarterbacks are off the board here, so I'm sure it made your decision pretty easy. But what drew you towards Drew Brees as opposed to some of the other positions?
Well, I was waiting for Matthew Stafford, and that pick just really messed up my whole draft because I was expecting Stafford to be here at this pick. And when I saw Drew Brees, I just couldn't help myself. My dick was hard.
I didn't hear all that.
Sirius, you're on the clock here, my friend, now. Do you have your selection ready?
Yeah. I don't know what that noise is, but Lord have mercy.
I'm gonna mute some people here, and I'm just gonna unmute the people when it's your turn to select, and I apologize, but I got way too much noise going on in here. All right, so it's just James and myself, and let me go ahead and unmute Sirius because it is his selection. Sirius, are you ready with your selection?
Yeah, still to be president who select Steven Jackson, running back, St. Louis Rams.
All right, Steven Jackson, running back, St. Louis Rams. Roderick, you are on the clock. Get ready with your selection. I'm coming to you right now, though, Sirius. Why Steven Jackson? There's still a couple guys on the board that people would say, maybe are better options. What was it that made Steven Jackson the right fit for your squad?
Well, honestly, when we look at, where I pick next, there's going to be a couple of other options up there. I really wanted to solidify a decent running back. So I went with Steven Jackson. He's definitely up there as far as rushing yards. He's definitely going to be Sam Bradford's big, bailout. So I didn't want to select, another running back. Steven Jackson has been that bell cow for St. Louis for quite some time. I expect him to put up big numbers for me.
All right. Very good. I am going to I'm going to mute you here real quick, Sirius. If we could tie, it would be a huge help to me, sir, if we could get everybody's names on the cue screen here, so I know who to unmute and what have you. I believe, if I'm mistaken, let me know. I believe that this is Roderick. Roderick, is this you? Can you give me a holler?
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Very good. All right, so we're back to you now. It's been a while. I know you almost fell asleep there, but you did make the first overall selection with Arian Foster. But we are now back to you, sir. Who is your second selection?
Wow, I can't believe this guy came to. Well, maybe so. Running back out of Dallas, DeMarco Murray.
All right, DeMarco Murray is now off the board. Are you ready with your next selection, sir?
Yes, I am.
going to hold off on a quarterback, and I really need a receiver. And I have to go with, this is probably the best quarterback in the league going to one of the – I have to go with Greg Jennings right now.
All right, so Greg Jennings comes off the board. To Rodri and Sirius, you are back on the clock. Take a half second. Let me ask you this real quick. You mentioned you were surprised that Murray made it back to you. Is the draft, Roderick? Is the draft unfolding like you thought it would, or are you getting better talent than you anticipated?
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as the running backs, Foster and Murray, I think those are probably two of the. I would like a Foster and McFadden if I could have had it my way, but Murray, I mean, I feel that Dallas their offense has always been top of the league last years. And with Witten going down and as Brian, no telling if he's going to play or not with his injury, they're going to have to feed the ball to Murray a little bit. I am concerned a little bit with his injury from last year, but I think the guy, he's looked pretty good. Reports coming from camp. So that with Foster and Murray in the backfield, I love it. So and Greg Jennings, I feel like he's in a contract year right now this year. And to me, the best quarterback in the league.
All right.
I got
Sirius,
it.
I'm going to come over to you. Are you ready with your selection, sir?
City Prez takes a familiar name when you start talking about Pittsburgh, but I'm not going with the one. I'm going for number 2, Antonio Brown.
Wow.
Oh, God.
That's great.
Wow.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Been elevated from sleeper to lead. All right, Sirius, I'm going to have to ask you. Justin, get ready. You're on the clock, sir. You're going to be up in a second. Sirius, what caused Antonio Brown, in your mind, to be a top 5 wideout this year?
This guy, honestly, I mean, what more need to be said? He takes the ball and he just does crazy stuff with it. I can throw him in a flex position. He can definitely, get return yards. He's definitely a guy that I really feel, especially in Todd Haley's offense, especially, at that number 2 spot, that's going to do some tremendous things. Mike Wallace, gets a lot of the clout, gets a lot of the praise, because of what he does and arguably show. However, I honestly think that if you look at touchdowns and total yak yards, when, you look at those yak yards, I definitely believe that Antonio Brown's going to see that pay dirt a little bit more often than Mike Wallace will this year. So it's going to be interesting, man. I had to flip a coin and roll the dice with it.
All right. The coin has been flipped. We'll see how that plays out for you. All right, my fellow 49er fan here in the kitchen, he must feel like it's Christmas right now as great players continue to fall his way. Justin, how you doing? Are you ready with your next selection?
That right there, Justin.
Listen, I do feel like it's Christmas. I really don't know what to do. I really want to go one way because he's still there, but I can't. I don't think I can afford to do it, so I think I'm going to go. Oh, man. This is the craziest draft. This is the craziest draft.
He's right there, Justin.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm not getting the guy you talking to. He just texted me. I can't do that. It's too early for that.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Man. I want to jump off. You know what? I might not get a chance to get him in any other league. And Brian, you set the tone early. You don't have any yet. Brian, I'm just sorry. Brian, what was your second pick?
Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson. You know what? Oh, man, I got to do it because he's just
all right, man.
Gronkowski. Give me Gronkowski.
All right, Rob Gronkowski. Here, gentlemen. I think the timing is right. Good pick, Justin. James, you are on the clock. Justin, let me just ask you this. A lot of people believe the gap between Gronkowski and Graham, not that much. I select Graham, obviously, at the end of 1. You get Gronkowski here in round 3. you've got to feel like the value is fantastic. Was it strictly a value pick for you, or was there a couple other options you're considering?
It was definitely a value pick because I felt like I wanted to go running back so bad because there was still talent there, but I don't think they were going to be able to get me as many touchdowns as Gronkowski did. So I felt like that was the way. Like you getting Graham in the first round, it's not like 2 years ago I would have laughed at you. The fact that he gets so many touchdowns and so many yards, it was worth it because he's almost like the other guy said, he's a top receiver. And I felt like Gronkowski was the next best thing. And I had him last year, and he won me games single-handedly. So I had to get him at this pick, even though I felt like I could have got another skill position, but it just felt like it was worth it.
And you know what? And that's a valid point, James. You are on the clock, though, my friend, and you are on the clock here. Gronkowski just came off the board. Who is your next selection?
I'm surrounded by snipers. I'm surrounded by people who think like me. This is terrible. Terrible. I just don't know what on earth to think right now. I was so happy with Ray Rice. Now every single pick I want it goes the picks before me. I'm going to go with Wes Welker. Wes Welker is CPR gold. I'm running a risk here because I'm starting to think that he might not be used nearly as much as he's been in past years, but the guy does catch a lot of balls. A little bit of a risk, but there's really high reward here for Wes Welker to be my pick.
All right, interesting selection, if nothing else. Tim, you are on the clock. Are you ready for your selection, sir? Hold on. Hold that thought. It's hard to talk if you're muted. How about now, Tim? Are you ready for your selection?
Yeah, I'm ready. James, that's a sniper pick right there. I was actually hoping to get him on the way back around. I'm probably going to have to go with running back's not deep. I got to go with a guy who's a workhorse and I know is going to get the carries. And I'm going to go with I don't want to do that. I guess I'm going to go Trent Richardson here.
All right, Trent Richardson, running back from Cleveland. Got some minor issues, but most people believe, Tim, that he is going to be, good to go either by week 1 or week 2. Rodri, you were on the clock, sir. Post in the chat room when you were ready with your selection. Tim, let me come back to you. I know there's a couple guys you were debating there. Is the injury more of an issue for you here as far as concerned with Trent Richardson, or is it just kind of the overall talent on offense? What was the hesitation there?
I'm not worried about the injury. The injury is nothing. He just had it scoped. That's nothing. People come back from that all the time. They're just being precautionary with him. He's going to be the workhorse back. If Peyton Hillis can run behind that really good offensive line, Trent Richardson's more of a talented back. I think he can, and I wouldn't be shocked. There's a couple guys in this Cleveland roster that could be sleepers this year and help out a little bit to get some of the 8 men in the box off of them. And honestly, how many guys are just one getting all the load and 2 going to be catching passes out of the backfield in a PPR format?
All right, well, Roderick is ready with his selection, and this is where the draft shakes up a little bit here because this guy could easily end up being a top 3 fantasy player. Roderick is going with it. He's got the steel cojones, if you will. Road Squad selects Maurice Jones-Drew, currently no team, but we'll say Jacksonville for the sake of argument, which means, Mark, you are now finally back on the clock, sir. I know it's been a while.
Yeah, so, it's taken a while, but sometimes that gives you time to see the draft unfold. I saw this guy earlier. I didn't think he would be there. I think he displayed number 1 potential, top 5 ability at the wide receiver position, so I'm happy to get him in the 3rd round. Cincinnati receiver A.J. Green. I'll take him to the Jinx.
All right, so A.J. Green comes off the board here. Mark, you made the selection pretty quick here. If you could for me, I mean, was Green the only option here, or were you considering any other positions and or players?
I thought MJD was going to fall to me. All along, I was like, nobody's going to take this guy. I contemplated taking him earlier in the second round. So when I saw that he was still there, I know he's holding out, but MJD is a workhorse, and I tell you what, he'll get points for Rodri. He's a great pick right ahead of me. So that kind of went to my next tier player. A couple other names that I still liked, but we'll see if I can get him in the next round.
All right. Well, the next selection, show me your TDs. Select Jordy Nelson, wide receiver, Green Bay Packers. Barry is on the clock. James, I will allow you to make those selections.
Okay. With the next pair of selections, Team Villain selects Ahmad Bradshaw, the running back for the New York Giants, as well as, and hold on, I'm going to have to walk down this list a little bit, Hakeem Nicks, wide receiver, also of the New York Football Giants.
All right, so Hakeem Nicks.
Wait, you just skipped me, yo.
Oh, you know what? I apologize. Ty is right. Hold that thought there, Barry. My bad.
But it don't look. It don't. Well, that pick don't affect me.
Two selections, Ty.
I was going with Steve Smith.
All right, so you got Steve Smith, and who is your second selection, sir?
No, Barry went Bradshaw. Barry's after me in that pick, right?
Right.
Barry went Bradshaw, and who was his second pick?
Hakeem Nicks.
He picked up a wide receiver. Oh, my God.
Hey, Brian, while he's thinking, could you hit me with your pick again, just so we can update the list?
Jordy Nelson, wide receiver, Green Bay.
I'm going to go with VD.
All right. And I don't think he's talking about a venereal disease here. I believe he's going Vernon Davis, the tight end from the San Francisco 49ers. And I am back on the clock. Ty, Vernon Davis, it looks like you got a little San Fran love going on here. Vernon Davis, third tight end off the board. Still some other options there. What reason did you go Vernon Davis here as opposed to some of the other options?
Well, you and Justin setting the tone, and y'all some Niner fans, so I respect that. And you gotta get those guys that are gonna be go-to guys in the tight end position. So I gotta pick up Vernon Davis. He's not even a real tight end. He's like a receiver with a tight end body. So I'm gonna go with Vernon Davis.
All right. With my next selection, and this one's really tough for me, but I kind of feel like value-wise, it's just too good to pass up at this point. Show me your TDs selects Ryan Matthews, running back, San Diego, with my next selection. And, Mark, you are now back on the clock, sir.
Well, thanks for bringing me back. Yeah, I'm good to go. I don't think I've heard his name. I'll double confirm it. I'll go with Jamal Charles.
Jamal Charles is still available and is now a member of the Madden Jinx squad, if you will. Rodri, you are on the clock. Let me real quickly, Mark, while we have a couple seconds here, and I have you on the line. You're selecting Jamal Charles here. Any hesitation, doubt in drafting this guy? Coming off of a major injury, or is the value just too good at this point?
The value's good, and if you see any common theme with my players, Matt Forte, Jamal Charles, Andre Johnson, and A.J. Green, they all got injured at some point last year. You know what? You just got to get over it. It's a fact of the game. If they're going to get injured again, they're going to get injured again. You know what? You just got to overlook that, take talent, take some value. And, this is another player that I contemplated taking last round instead of A.J. Green. So since he was still there, I'm happy to select him. And you know what? Sometimes you just got to wing it. And I said, you know what? Jamal Charles is going to come back. He's 25 years old. He can respond from that injury, and he will do it. All
right. And with the next pick, Rodri selects wide receiver from Atlanta, not Julio Jones, but Mr. Roddy White. So Roddy White now is off the board, and he is a member of the Road Squad. Tim, you are back, a part of the living here. Tim, a couple selections have obviously the last pick. Where are you headed now with this next selection?
With selecting Trent Richardson, I kind of got to handcuff myself. I don't want to say handcuff because it's really not a handcuff, but I need to get another running back just in case he's not ready to go week 1. Best running back on the board right now and top 5 running back before he got hurt last year and was leading the league in all-purpose yards, and is still going to be the number 1 running back again this year, Fred Jackson, Buffalo Bills.
All right, Fred Jackson, nice pick there. James, you are on the clock, sir. Are you ready to make your selection?
Yes, but before we do that, could you tell me your latest pick again?
My last selection was Ryan Matthews, running back from San Diego.
Okay, and my pick, I mean, we're going through another little mini running back run here, so I've got to make this choice while I can. Once again, PPR league, you got to know your rules. I'm going with Darren Sproles, the running back for the New Orleans Saints.
All right, so Darren Sproles comes off the board here. Next up on the clock is Justin. Let's see if Justin still believes it is Christmas time over here. Justin, how you doing? You're back here in the kitchen. It's Christmas time. The tree is up. Are you ready to make your selection, sir?
One thing I wanted to say was that the pick that I was toying with Rob Gronkowski during that pick just got picked like 10 picks later. That's crazy. Like, he almost came back to me. And Mark got him, and that was Jamal Charles. I was thinking about getting Jamal Charles.
Wow.
But, man. Oh, boy.
All right, we'll give you a couple seconds here to think about that.
Go ahead. Yeah.
While we have a couple seconds here, let me just say that this is a live fantasy draft hosted by Sports City Chefs. Appreciate everybody tuning in. For those of you tuning in that just came in late, this is a live draft by our experts here in the kitchen. Kind of give you an idea of, what to expect during your draft, because there will be some curveballs, and you have to be ready for those curveballs. You may see a tight end go in round 1. You may see running backs get selected higher than you expected. You may see a guy like MJD staring you in the face in the middle of the second round. And you're going to need to be ready for those types of decisions. We're trying to prepare you for those, okay? Justin, coming back to you, sir. Justin,
I'm ready.
Give me your selection.
I'm taking a chance here because I think I can get some good value later on. I'm going to go with Julio Jones. I like his preseason. I like the way he's looking. I'm going to go with Julio Jones.
Jones, the other Atlanta wide receiver, comes off the clock.
Roddy White went already?
Yeah, Roddy White's already off the board.
Okay, all right.
So with that, Sirius, you are back on the clock, sir. Make your selection.
Oh, wow. Sheesh. This one is difficult. I'm going to have to go tight end Antonio Gates, San Diego Chargers.
Good pick. I like the pick. Value, especially if he can stay healthy. Roderick, you're on the clock. I'll be with you in a half a second. What was the thought process, quickly, Sirius, on going Antonio Gates here? Is it just that you kind of feel a run coming on tight ends? Is the value just too good? What was the thought process like?
It was kind of a combination of both. I mean, I saw, Brock and Jimmy Graham get pulled off pretty quickly, and then, T.P. and Vernon Davis. There were a couple of other options that I could have went at. But it's just that if this guy can stay healthy, I expect him and Phillip Rivers to just do some great things out there in San Diego.
All right, thank you for that, Sirius. I'm going to head on over now to Roderick. Roderick, you had the first overall selection. You got Arian Foster, came back to you, and were able to snag DeMarco Murray, and you were even able to to secure the services of a wide receiver. Where are we headed now with this selection?
I'm a little upset. I with him. I've been in love with Fred Jackson for the past 2 or 3 years, ever since Marshawn Lynch left. So I was hoping he would slide down to the 40th pick, but that's okay. I'm going to have to go with that. I have one question for James. Do we have a flex option with
Yes. Yep, there's one flex, yep.
Okay, good. And I'm going to take 2 receivers here. I don't think they've been taken. I'm going to go with Victor Cruz.
He's available.
And I love what they're doing in Chicago right now. I love Jay Cutler with that arm. I'm going to have to go with insane, crazy boy, Brandon Marshall.
All right, so we have 2 wide receivers coming off the board here. I'm really, really high on Brandon Marshall. Sirius, you're back on the clock. Obviously, I know it's because there's a flex, but you went 2 wide receivers here. You neglected quarterback once again. There was some running backs possibly. Why did you go 2 wide receivers here, Roderick?
Just like I said, I can't. I love Brandon Marshall. I've been liking him ever since him and Jay was in Denver, and Victor Cruz was out there. I didn't think he would be available in the round, so I had to go with the best available right there. Again, I really wanted Fred Jackson. Like I said, I've been in love with Fred Jackson for the last 2.5 years. So I have my eye on a couple of quarterbacks, and I think the value of a quarterback. So.
All right, well, great selections for sure, and we appreciate the picks. Sirius, coming back over to you. We are going to start the 2-minute hurry-up offense, if you will. So I'm not going to be asking a lot about the reason for the selections here because we're almost at the halfway point, guys. And as you can easily see, we are not at the halfway point in the draft. So, Sirius, are you ready with your selection?
Oh, my God, I can't believe this guy fell right back around to me. Michael Wallace, wide receiver, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Michael Wallace. You heard he just got released, right?
Psych, you're crazy.
All right, Mike Wallace is off the board. Justin, you are back on the clock, sir. And we are going to ask you now, are you ready for your selection?
Give me 25 seconds.
All right. Mike Wallace, good selection, deep threat guy. And here's the thing. Here's the other thing to consider when you start talking about value, for those of you in the chat room. Antonio Brown, Sirius selects Antonio Brown as a top 5 wideout. Mike Wallace is really the value here now as about the 15th wide receiver selected. The only thing I'm not sure about here is we got 2 wide receivers from the same team. You're in the middle of a concert. Go ahead, sir.
Who, me?
Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go ahead, sir.
I really wanted Brandon Marshall, so I'm going to go off wide receiver because I don't feel like there's anybody that I can get right now that's worth it. So I'm going to go Turner. Burner Turner.
All right, Michael Turner comes off the board here from Atlanta. The Turner, the burner, if you will. James, you are back on the clock.
Okay, so right now I've just got to compose myself a little bit, make sure I'm accurately depicting on what I've got here. I think I've still got a flex option left, and the running backs are going fast and furious here, so I'm going to go with Doug Martin, the running back from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right.
Actually, wait, can I change that real quick? I'm going to go with my tight end first. I'm going to go with Brandon Pettigrew, the tight end from Detroit.
All right, so right after we highlight Doug Martin, we instead highlight Brandon Pettigrew. I'm just giving you a hard time. Tim, you are on the clock. Are you ready to make your selection, sir?
Yeah, give me Brandon Lloyd, New England wide receiver.
All right, Brandon Lloyd comes off the board here. And, Rodri, you are on the clock, sir. So when you're ready to make your selection, just simply post it here in the chat room, and I'll pick that up. Timmy, Brandon Lloyd, there's still a couple guys that people would say, hey, maybe are rated a little higher. What was it for you that put Brandon Lloyd over the top?
There's no one on the board that's rated higher right now, in my opinion. Brandon Lloyd's going to have Tom Brady throwing the ball. He's back in the Josh McDaniels offense. You saw what he did in Denver when he was there 2 years ago. Last year when he got to St. Louis with Josh McDaniels, either he had 75 yards or a touchdown in every game. And if Brady's, the guy that's going to be throwing him the ball, I expect something close to what Randy Moss had in New England. He's a burner. He can get downfield in a hurry.
All right. Well, if you get Randy Moss type production in New England, then you definitely got the best wideout in the game probably. Roderick has made his selection, and with that, boys, the road squad selects Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, running back from Cincinnati. Running backs are definitely abundantly coming off the board now pretty quickly. And with that, Mark, you are back on the clock, my friend. Are you ready to make your next selection?
Yeah, let's go with the Packers player. I got to do it, and I want to stick with the injury theme, guys. Jermichael Finley, give me the big man at tight end.
So once again, Mark stays with his theme and goes with the injured player, if you will, and that being Jermichael Finley comes off the board here. I'm not going to waste any time. I know a lot of people are not high on this guy, but I'm going to go with Show Me Your TDs is going with Sean Green, running back from the Jets. LT not there. I just don't think he's going to have a lot of competition. And with that, Ty, you are back on the clock, sir. Timeless, are you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
The Time Travelers are selecting Kevin Smith.
All right, Time Travelers select Kevin Smith. All right, Kevin Smith's off the board. James, who is Barry selecting now? The Mad Hatter, the Mad Villain, if you will.
Okay, I'm just going to have to take a quick look here. So, walking through, he is going to select Marcus Colston, wide receiver from the New Orleans Saints.
Good pick. All right, and then he has a pick on the turnaround?
Yes, he does, and he is going to take the New York Football Giants defense.
Wow, he could have probably waited a few picks for that one. All right, so the New York
round, correct?
Defense comes off the board as the number one defense. I don't have them there, but interesting selection nonetheless. TP, you are back on the clock, sir. Who is your second selection?
The Time Travelers select Terrell Owens.
Terrell Owens. I don't even have him on my list. A write-in candidate in the draft. All right. With that said, I'm back on the clock here, and Show Me Your TDs. Select Michael Crabtree, wide receiver, San Francisco. Mark, you are back on the clock, sir. Did we lose Mark? I think we lost Mark. Oh, here's Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, I'm back. What was your selection you just made? Sorry, I didn't hear what you just selected. Crabtree. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I think I'm going to go with. I'm torn here, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyways. Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson. Well, does he qualify, though, as being a part of your team? Was he injured?
I mean, I think so, right? Didn't he? I mean, if he wasn't injured, his heart was broken last year. He didn't get paid. So now the man's paid. Let's see him play.
I was going to say, Mark, if nothing else, his morale was definitely broken. I'll give you that. So with that selection, Rorty is back on the clock. Rorty, whenever you're ready for your next selection, sir, feel free to throw that in there. The draft is moving along pretty nicely here, gentlemen, and we're really getting a lot of picks in here in a hurry. For those of you in the chat room, I hope you appreciate this. It's pretty hard not only just to keep up at this pace, but also to be able to make these selections. And a lot of these selections are really, really good picks. So we're just waiting for Rorty's pick.
Mr. Hughes, could you recap for me picks 47 and 48, which is Rodri's last pick and Mark Mosley's pick before Deshaun Jackson?
Yeah, Rorty's pick was Ben Jarvis, Green, Ellis.
Okay.
And Mark Mosley selected. I'm pretty sure he selected a wide receiver. Here, let me get Mark back on here for you. Mark.
Oh, hello.
Finley?
Yes, you guys got me?
Yeah, was it Jermichael Finley?
Jermichael Finley.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to mute Mark again. So you got Jermichael Finley there, the tight end, coming off the board to the injured, the often injured Madden curse, or Madden, the Madden hex, if you will, that Mark's got going on there. Rodri has selected, gentlemen. He's going with Vincent Jackson, wide receiver, Tampa Bay, off the board here. So with that said, you now have Tim back on the clock. Let me come up here to Tim. Tim, you are back on the clock, sir. Are you ready to make your selection?
Yeah, I can't believe this guy's still sitting here, seeing as how he was the third best tight end last year in PPRs, and that's Aaron Hernandez.
All right, Aaron Hernandez comes off the board to Tim. James, you are now on the clock, sir.
Well, I think it's about time we started a quarterback run. I mean, it's just the question of which one do I want. There's so many awesome quarterbacks still on the board. It's going to be tough to pick one. But right now, I mean, the running backs are kind of drying up. There's a bunch of guys that are pretty even. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with Eli Manning, New York Giants quarterback. Lock it up.
All right, Eli Manning coming off the board. On over now to my man Justin, waiting to get in and get busy here in the draft. Justin, you are now on the clock, sir. Are you ready to make your selection?
Yes, give me Dez Bryant.
Dez Bryant, he has been looking good here in preseason, guys. Definitely looking good. I like the pick, especially as late as you were able to get him, Justin. Good pick. Sirius, you are on the clock now, my friend. I'm coming to you, so make sure you are ready with your pick. Sirius, you are on the clock.
Wow. I'm going to go. Dang, darn it. I'm going to go Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush is off the clock, or is off the board, not off the clock, excuse me. Sirius is going with the talented inside runner, Reggie Bush. Now it's time to head on over to our good friend, Roderick, who had the number 1 overall pick. God, that's got to be terrible to have the number 1 pick and pick about every 20 minutes. Roderick, you're back on the clock, sir.
Oh, yeah. Ice, baby. I got to go with Matty Ryan. And I love the division that these guys play in with all these first-year quarterbacks. I'm going to go with the Houston defense.
All right, so you got Matt Ryan and the Houston defense as the second defense selected. Good picks. So Matt Ryan, Houston defense. Sirius, I'm coming back to you, sir. Are you ready for your next selection?
You know what? I need to select this thing here before it gets away from me. You know, my man went with Houston's defense. I'm going with Dick LeBeau and the Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
All right, you probably could have waited about 5 more rounds, but
probably could have.
All right, Pittsburgh Steelers defense is going to your boy, Sirius. Justin, you are back on the clock, my friend. Are you ready to make your selection?
Man, wow. You know what? My computer froze on me, so I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. Cause I know he's not going. Oh man, he said go right back. Sorry, Walt, can't do it because I don't have my computer on me. The guy that I have in my head is Dwayne Bowe.
All right, Dwayne Bowe is still available. Good pick, Justin. We are now going on over to James. James, my co-host here on the NFL Front Office Show. James, are you ready with your next selection?
Yeah, almost. I've got to choose. I've got two difficult guys to choose between. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take. I'm gonna go with Doug Martin. I'm gonna go with Doug Martin, the running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, that's good because I had already penciled you in as having Doug Martin. So pretty good for me. Tim is now back on the clock. Tim, are you ready to make your selection, sir?
Yeah, I can't believe I'm going to make this selection, and I'm really pissed that I am. I don't even know if I can do it. All right, this is painful. Give me that pansy bitch, Jay Cutler.
Oh, bastard.
Oh, man, a collective sigh of groans. All right, so Tim goes with the best quarterback in the division in Jake. Kidding, boys. I can't get too many Lion fans upset at one time. Rodri, you're on the clock, sir. So you have a couple seconds here to chime in with your next selection. This live draft is brought to you by Sports City Chefs. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We will have the complete results posted on www.sportcitychefs.com. We'll also keep it updated throughout the year so you can track the leaderboard. You can see me on top. You'll be able to follow us on sportcitychefs.com. And feel free to not only check us out there, but check out all of our player interviews as well. Rodri, we're waiting for him to tune in here. James, I know you're feverishly typing in all these picks, but while we have a brief second here, has the draft went pretty much how you thought, or are you kind of surprised at how the drafts went?
Well, obviously, I mean, a lot of these picks are rather surprising. A lot of guys went a lot higher than I thought, and a lot of guys went lower than I thought. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out. And there will be no F-minuses this year. I'm just going to put that out right now. But there are a few drafts that are interesting. Let's put it that way.
All right, and Road Squad has made his selection. With the next selection, Rodri selects Eric Decker, wide receiver for Denver. Good pick, Rodri, with the talent left at wide receiver. I like the selection quite a bit. And with that, the man who only selects injured players is now on the clock. There would be morale, heart, and or physical ailment. Mark, are you ready for your selection, sir?
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from an injured player this time, and I like the Denver pick, and I'm going to toss the dice here and say Peyton's going to like either what Rodri just picked or the guy I'm going to take, Demaryius Thomas. Peyton's got to throw the ball to somebody, so I'll roll with the other Denver Bronco receiver.
All right, Demaryius Thomas, another good pick, a big physical guy out of Georgia Tech. Definitely could be that deep threat, no doubt about it. With that selection, myself, I'm on the clock. I'm looking at a couple different guys here that I could possibly select. It's kind of a difficult decision for me. I'm not really in love per se with a lot of the guys that are still here on the board. So with that said, I'm gonna go with a guy that I'm really expecting to have a pretty nice year this year, and I'm going to go with Phillip Rivers, quarterback from San Diego. And with that, Barry is on the clock, James.
Oh, Barry is not on the clock, right? Hey, what's going on?
All right, sorry, Timeless. I keep skipping over you. Okay. Timeless is on the clock.
Listen, is the man available? Peyton? Is Peyton available?
Yes, he is.
Peyton is available.
I'm taking Peyton with the neck issue.
All right. So Peyton and the neck issue come off the board here. Barry is now on the clock.
Barry is now on the clock with the first of 2 picks. Barry selects Jason Witten, the tight end from Dallas. And then he takes, hold on, I've got to cycle down quite a bit. He will select Beanie Wells, the running back from Arizona.
All right, good picks. Ty, you are back on the clock, sir.
Is Hakeem Nicks available?
No, he's gone. He was gone a long, long time ago.
Okay, let's see, man. I got to keep it gangster, man. Randy.
Oh, man. You taking my boy? All right, Randy Moss, wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers, comes off the board here. I'm back on the clock. There's been a couple of them go off the board, but I kind of feel like at this point in the draft, I got to take the best at the position. I'm going with team defense. I'm going with my boys, the San Francisco 49ers, the only defense to return all 11 starters from last year, and they're out to prove that it wasn't a coincidence. Mark, you are back on the clock, sir.
Well, you know, I think I got to go with it. I'm going to go with a quarterback. I know he's banged up. I know this guy is injury, high risk, high reward, but that's what I'm playing with this year. So give me Michael Vick.
Mike Vick, I think it's a good pick. You know, we talked about this on the fantasy show on Monday night. Mike Vick's one of those guys that usually after a disappointing year like last year, he usually has a real nice bounce back year. So that could be a real good pick for you, Mark. Rodri is on the clock. Rodri, you are up, sir. So feel free to send in your selection when you are ready for that. James, how is the updating of the spreadsheet going? Have you got all the selections in? And as far as it looks right now, it looks like everybody's pretty much stayed pretty consistent with making sure that they're filling out the roster. Nobody has went 4 or 5 running backs, which I have seen in the past in this league. So it definitely looks more balanced. What's your thoughts?
I agree. Everybody's doing a great job of keeping track of their picks, filling out their rosters very nicely. I don't think we've even had more than one backup selected thus far. So everybody's doing a fantastic job as far as that's concerned.
Absolutely. With the next selection, Rodri selects tight end Greg Olsen from the Carolina Panthers. Greg Olsen is now a member of the Rod Squad. So, Roderick, congratulations. You have yourself a tight end. Tim, you are now back on the clock, sir, and I know you're probably ready to make your selection, so go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to take my first bench player here. I'm going to go running back because they're often injured. I'm going to go with the starter in Denver, Willis McGahee.
All right, so Willis McGahee, the starting tailback there in Denver, is selected at this point, and it's a good selection. It's definitely a good selection. James, you are on the clock, sir.
Okay, with my selection, there's a couple places I could go here, but I really want to make sure that I've got my my backup quarterback, and just to pee somebody off, I'm going to take Big Ben Roethlisberger.
All right, so James takes Big Ben and his torn rotator cuff. Sirius, you are on the clock, sir.
Justin's up. Justin's up, not serious.
I apologize. You know what? You're absolutely right, Justin. I apologize. Justin, you are on the clock.
Man, he messed me up with that running back pick. I can't even pick right now. He took me up, but he really took my pick, and the Willis McGahee pick messed me up. But I'm gonna go. He's going Walt. Sean Green is going in. Benson. I'm not getting Benson. Give me D'Angelo Williams.
All right, D'Angelo Williams comes off the board here to Justin. Good, solid selection there. Sirius, you are now on the clock. Sorry about that there, Justin. Sirius, feel free to make your selection, sir.
Wow. I definitely, like myself, need to go ahead and secure a quality backup quarterback. And I'm going to go select Tony Romo, quarterback, Dallas Cowboys.
All right, Tony Romo, the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, is now Sirius's back moving forward. With that, Roderick, you are on the clock, my friend. Once again, we are back to you. Wake up, drink your mojo. It is time to make your selections.
Yeah, I used to like him. He's really pissing me off right now with the Fred Jackson and the Willis McGahee pick. But I'm going to go. I need to fill out the roster and go with the tight end. Had Pettigrew last year, but I don't know. I really like Fred Davis because we have a rookie quarterback, and that's a security blanket. So I'm going to go with Fred Davis. Hopefully he can stay out of the drugs. So Fred Davis for that pick. And my next pick, I need a backup running back just in case DeMarco goes down. And the best available right now would be, I think I want to go with, going to go with Donald Brown.
All right, Donald Brown. I actually like that pick. That's a good pick, solid pick. I think you're, when it's all said and done, you're going to like that pick quite a bit. So with that said, Sirius, you are back on the clock, my friend, ready for your next selection. Sirius, are you ready to make your pick?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go with Percy Harvin.
All right, Percy Harvin. Here's a name that many of your quote-unquote experts would have had drafted a whole lot higher. Percy Harvin now coming off the board here in the Sports City Chefs draft. And with that, we are back around once again to Justin. Justin, are you ready to make...
Yes. Is Steven Johnson going?
Stevie Johnson is available. The wide receiver?
Yes.
Yeah, he is available.
Give me him.
All right, Stevie Johnson.
Sniper.
The sniper, Justin, a.k.a. Bullet Sniper, takes Stevie Johnson. Obviously, James is disgruntled. Mr. Controversy is now Mr. Confused. Where are you headed now, James?
That's a good question. I was really hoping for Stevie Johnson to be there. Now I'm really Deshaun Jackson has been selected, correct?
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson is off the board.
Okay. I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Peyton Hillis, the running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. Hopefully he'll be the touchdown vulture for that team. And they're a team that's not going to rely too much on Matt Castle to get the job done.
All right, so Peyton Hillis comes off the board. And with that, we are now back around to Tim. Tim, you're on the clock. You are ready to rock and roll. Whenever you're ready, sir, go ahead and make your pick.
Let me get Jeremy Maclin, wide receiver, Philadelphia Eagles.
Good pick. Good pick. You just sniped me, sir. Lottery is back on the clock. Lottery, when you're ready to make your selection, feel free to make the pick. Draft is going along pretty well here, guys. We've actually, it looks like the wide receivers are actually finally starting to catch up to the running backs. Still a lot of really high-quality, talented quarterbacks available. We got a couple 4,000-yard passers still available. Tight ends, there's a few guys that are considered elite tight ends. So it'll be interesting to see how this draft continues to unfold. Roderick is making his selection right now, gentlemen. And as we pause here with about 40 minutes left, let me just say, really appreciate all the participants here. I know this is not easy, especially where we're not giving you much time to actually hear the pick, write it down, and then make your own pick. You guys are doing a great job. And for those of you listening in, we appreciate it. And you know what? I hope you're enjoying this. Roderick, you're lucky you made that pick because I was going to snipe you on that one. But with that said, the road squad selects Ben Tate, running back, Houston. Ben Tate does come off the board here at this point. Good pick, Roderick. Mark, you are now on the clock, sir. Are we thinking a mentally disturbed player, maybe a guy with a hammy injury? What's the thought process like?
No, I'll go with someone that is healthy this time, Torrey Smith, wide receiver, Baltimore.
All right, Torrey Smith, wide receiver, Baltimore, comes off the board here with the selection. With that said, I'm up. I'm on the clock here, and I got a couple guys that I'm torn between, but I won't waste a lot of time. I'm going to go with wide receiver Miles Austin from Dallas. I think the guy's got a ton of potential, and before he was injured last year, was doing well in the touchdown category. With that said, Ty, you're back on the clock, sir.
I put on for my city, so I'm going to go with Detroit defense.
Detroit defense.
That puts Barry on the clock now. So we are in. This is round 8, I believe. Yes, round 8. So we are looking for. Jonathan Stewart is still on the board, correct?
Yes.
So Barry selects Jonathan Stewart, and after that he will also take Kenny Britt will be his next selection for the wide receiver.
Yep. All right. So Kenny Britt comes off the board, and Jonathan Stewart. Ty, you're back on the clock.
Is Jonathan Stewart available?
Jonathan Stewart just went off the pick right before you.
Yeah.
You got sniped by a guy that's not even here.
Nice. Wow, that's big. Oh, man. Lance Moore, wide receiver out of New Orleans Saints.
Okay, Lance Moore is available, and he is now a member of your team, sir. All right, and with that said, I'm back on the clock. Man, there's nobody here that I'm absolutely overly enthralled about, but I'm going to go with Isaac Redman, running back out of Pittsburgh. Mark, you are back on the clock, sir.
I'll keep it short and sweet. When Brock took my other handcuff, Peyton Hillis, I knew I had to grab my other one. When you spend a first-round pick on Matt Forte, you got to handcuff him even if it's early. Give me Michael Bush, Chicago Bears running back. All
right, Michael Bush, the talented runner, formerly of the Oakland Raiders, is selected here now that he's in Chicago. And with that said, Rodri, you are back on the clock, sir. Feel free to make your selection as you see fit. Draft is definitely moving along pretty quickly here. Want to once again thank everybody for tuning in. This is a live mock draft, fantasy football draft, if you will. The results will be viewable on the Sports City Chefs website. Also, all of our web information, our show schedule, player interviews with the NFL players, professional soccer players, basketball players, all those interviews are up there. Chefs are busy 24/7, 7 days a week. Definitely do yourself a favor and check us out. Full channel lineup is viewable. The station you're currently listening to, we have programming here 7 days a week, so we definitely encourage each and everybody to tune in. With that said, James, let me go over to you real quickly while Roderick's making his selection. How is the draft unfolding in your opinion? I mean, is this what you expected? I mean, we've had an occasional few shocker picks, but ultimately, when I look at my lists, just about the top 20 from each one of my categories, as far as running backs and wide receivers, right down the list are gone. So it may be a little quirky, but it seems like we've got there, pretty much the way you would expect.
Yeah, basically everybody from the top two. There's only two guys from my top two tiers in every position, with the exception of kicker and defense, are currently been taken off the board. Some of them later than others, but in the top three tiers, in my opinion, as far as the running backs are concerned, are also all off the board. So it's starting to get down to the nitty gritty, and this is where you try to find your sleeper, your diamond in the rough. This is where fantasy drafts are won and lost, to be completely honest with you, where some guy comes and picks up that guy he has a good feeling about and ends up winning the lead for it.
Absolutely. All right, so Rorty, with the Road Squad, selects Philadelphia's defense. And with that selection, Tim, you are back on the clock, sir. Go ahead and when you're ready with your next selection.
Let me get Reggie Wayne, Indianapolis Colts.
All right, Reggie Wayne comes off the board here. He will definitely be somebody that the young Andrew Luck will look at for receptions there in Indianapolis. Justin, I'm going to head on over to you, sir.
Wait. Oh, wait. Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry, James. It is your selection.
Okay, good. I'm going to select. I'm going to select Pierre Garçon, the wide receiver for the Washington Redskins.
All right, Pierre Garçon, the wide receiver from the Washington Redskins, is now your player. Justin, you are on the clock, sir.
Is Isaac Redmond still available?
No, sir. He just got selected last round.
Oh, okay. Oh, boy. Kevin Smith still available?
Kevin Smith was selected about 5 rounds ago.
5 rounds?
Yeah.
Wow.
While Justin thinks about this here for a second, Justin, just kind of butt in when you're ready with your selection. James, getting back to what we were talking about the tiering system, the one position that I would say, and I know we all know this because you only have one guy starting as opposed to 2 or 3 guys, but I think there's significant talent still at the quarterback position. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I would say, like I said, I believe there's one second-tier quarterback still available. Then there's a whole bunch of third-tier guys, and really a couple of those third-tier guys could easily be second- or first-tier guys because we just don't know enough about them yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So while we're waiting on Justin's next selection here, the draft is definitely unfolding. Most people have their starting lineups outside of kickers and maybe defenses pretty much set in now. You're going to start to see people fill out their rosters with backups, handcuffing. What that basically means is, you heard Mark use the term earlier, when you pick a high-level running back, a handcuff means you'll pick his backup in case they get injured, not out of a running back. Justin, are you ready with your selection?
Give me Vereen from the Patriots.
All right. Shane Vereen, the running back from the New England Patriots, comes off the board here. Sirius, you are on the clock, sir. Are you ready now with your next selection?
Yeah, I'm going to select Rashard Mendenhall.
All right. Rashard Mendenhall comes off the clock or off the board here. Serious. Good pick, Serious. Roderick, you are finally, once again, back on the clock here. Where are you headed now with this selection?
I'm going to do it again with the 2 wide receivers. Let me get Vincent Jackson. Is he still available?
Taken.
He's already
been taken. Has he been taken?
Yes, he has.
Has Torrey Smith?
Torrey Smith's been taken.
Damn it. I must have missed that. I'll be down. Well, there's nobody out there. I was
available.
Let me go ahead and go with the rookie, Justin Blackmon, if he's available.
He is available. Justin Blackmon, the top rookie wide receiver in the draft class, comes off the board here. And with that, Roderick, you do have your second selection.
And you know what? I've been in a lot of fantasy games where I've lost by 3 or 4, maybe 5 points. It was kind of early, but David Akers.
All right, Akers, the kicker from the San Francisco 49ers, comes off the board here. That's our first kicker off the board. And with that, Sirius, you are once again back on the clock, my friend.
Yeah, it's funny. Me and Roger were thinking along the same lines. I was going to go with Akers, but since he just got pulled off the board, I'm going to go with Steven Gostkowski, kicker for the New England Patriots.
Okay, Steven Gostkowski, kicker for the Pats, is off the board now for Sirius. With that, Justin is back on the clock. Let's see if Justin is ready with his next selection. Justin?
Oh, boy. You know what? I like what they've done. I'm going to go... Wow. Oh, boy. Give me the Patriots defense.
Wow. Patriots defense coming off the board here to Justin. With that selection in, James, you are back on the clock, sir.
I'm going to go with a little bit of a risky pick here. I think that I've developed a good enough team to be able to take this risk, but if I pull it off, it's going to be a really great pick for me. I'm going to go with Rashard Jennings, the running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, good pick, very good pick, especially with the upside if a potential trade were to go down. And with that pick in, Tim is back on the clock. Tim, are you ready with your next selection?
We must protect this house. I'm going to go with Ravens defense.
All right, so I'm kind of surprised to see the Ravens defense selected 7th overall, actually make that 8th overall. But, Timmy, definitely Christmas for you. James, Tim, Rorty is on the clock now. Rorty, whenever you're ready, sir, feel free to chime in with your pick, and we'll get that in. Tim, let me just quickly ask you, Baltimore Ravens defense, they've been around a long time, consistently rated as one of the top 2 or 3 defenses. They get selected 8th overall here. Are you concerned at all about the age, about some of the injury concerns that this team has? Why do you think the team that Baltimore fell as far, and do you still consider them a top 3 or 4 fantasy defense?
Last year they were second in the league in points against. Here's the problem that you run across. Everyone's looking for that next big thing when good, old, and busted is sitting right in front of you, and people always want that next big thing. They fail to take something that actually has been consistent year in, year out. So I was glad. I thought for sure James was going to go there. I know he doesn't like selecting the defense, but the way they were going off the board, I thought he was going to go Ravens D. I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad they fell to me. They were my second-ranked defense this year.
All right. Yeah, you know what? I like I said, I think it's a pretty good pick. James, how's the spreadsheet coming along? Is everything updated, sir? Is everything filling in nicely over there?
Yes, I believe we are 110% ready, and we're ready for Rodri's pick.
All right. As we pause here for Rodri's pick, he's picking right now. We are, if I do say so, and I believe I'm correct here, guys. I believe we're in round 11, so we're actually making fantastic progress here. Really good progress. I appreciate you guys being so prompt on your picks. It's really going to allow us to get this entire thing in, and I know it's difficult. For those of you in the chat room that haven't actually, or those of you who archive this later, for those of you who have never, without notes, basically without having any time to really prepare in between picks, not an easy feat. And these guys are doing a great job. But Rotary has made his next selection, and so the road squad will select running back Roy Halou, the talented runner from Washington, out of Nebraska. The kid really came on last year as a rookie for Mike Shanahan, and that. So Rotary did a real good job for that. So with that said, Mark, you are back on the clock, sir. Where are the Madden injured, cursed team headed at this point?
Well, I tell you what, the run on defense special teams units, I got to go with this pick because they have the best special teams unit in the NFL. The Bears.
The Bears. All right, so Mark goes with a surprise pick here. I can't believe he selected another Chicago Bears pick. It's almost as though he likes this team or something. It's kind of eerie. But with that said, I'm back on the clock. I'm staring at a couple guys, and one thing that James mentioned is, when you start to get towards the later rounds, I do look at upside. And one of the guys that's staring me in the face, and he's still there, and he has upside. I'm going with running back David Wilson. You know what? Ahmad Bradshaw has been injured, had foot injuries 2 of the last 3 seasons. And David Wilson for the New York Giants here. And with that, Ty, you're on the clock.
Oh, man. This is tough right now, too, man. Oh. Wow. Give me 20 seconds. Let me think about this. Yeah,
No, okay, that's terrible. That's terrible. Sorry about that.
I know I'm caught up, man. I don't know if I need a tight end or a running back, man.
When in doubt, just select a Detroit Lions player and or defense. That seems to be the general theme. Mark's selecting Chicago players. You're selecting Detroit players. I think it's a theme that you guys should just continue to go with. It led you to a title appearance last year. So whenever you're ready, you just let me know.
Do the Titus Young. I'll take Titus Young.
All right. So when in doubt, where do we go? We go to his team. We're going Titus Young, wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. Barry is on the clock. James, Barry is up. Are you ready to make his selection, sir?
I will be in just a quick second.
Okay, not a problem. I see some of the technical difficulties that you're having over there, so just let me know when you're ready. Ty, let me ask you real quick while we have a half a second here. Was it strictly the fact that Titus Young is on your team, or why go with Titus Young when there's still some other guys available that maybe somebody else would say is maybe a little, higher in value?
Because I'm thinking tight end, for the bye week for Vernon Davis to try and pick up somebody big, but then I'm thinking of if any of these guys fall off in my receiver core, that he could be a good filler because this guy has big play capability and he's actually shown up better this season. So I like his upside.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. He definitely that's the one thing you can say about him. He definitely has upside. There's no doubt about that. We're waiting for James.
I am here with Barry's picks. With his first of 2 picks, he selects Matt Schaub, the quarterback for the Houston Texans, and with his second pick, let me just make sure that I've got this correct.
He will select C.J. Spiller, running back for the Buffalo Bills.
All right, so C.J. Spiller and Matt Schaub have found a home here in the Sports City Chefs Fantasy League. Ty, you are back on the clock, sir.
I'm gonna go with, and this is hurtful, man. I'm actually in a decision mode, man. Detroit, forgive me on this one, all right? I'm going with Robbie Gould, the kicker from Chicago.
Robbie Gould, the kicker from Chicago, is now a part of Timeless's team. He's now one of the players that Timeless will be watching week in and week out. Robbie Gould, the place kicker for Chicago. With that, I'm back on the clock. I'm looking at a couple different options here. I'm going with Robert Meacham, wide receiver for San Diego, with my selection. Mark,
put Mark on the clock.
Yeah, Mark, you are back on the clock, sir.
All right. Well, let's. I believe he's available. Let's go with Malcolm Floyd, San Diego.
Yeah, he is still available, sir, and he is now a member of your squad. So with that, Rodri, you're back on the clock, sir. When you're ready, feel free to chime in and make your selection. Mark, I want to ask you real quickly on your last selection here. Players go back-to-back in Meacham and obviously Floyd. Floyd was with the team last year. Are you expecting big things from Floyd this year? Is he the number one guy? Is he going to help? Is he going to help fill that void of Vincent Jackson, in your opinion?
Well, you got to still think Antonio Gates is probably the number one, even though he's not considered a wide receiver. But without Vincent Jackson, Malcolm Floyd, if you look at the games last year that Vincent Jackson was out, Malcolm Floyd put up very good numbers to get him this late in the draft. I'm actually surprised. I wrote him down a couple of rounds ago, pretty much guaranteeing that he was going to be gone. And to get him this late in the draft, I'm happy. I think he could be a number one target for Phillip Rivers, which could be a number two receiver. And I'm so deep at receiver, I figured why not take another risk. PPR league, you always got to have ammunition to trade, so you go with the guy that's going to get some passes.
All right, so with that said, Rodri goes with the other elite rookie wide receiver, if you will, and Michael Floyd, wide receiver from Arizona. So Michael Floyd is now off the clock, or now off the board. Tim, you are back on the clock, sir.
All right. Anyone that's watched any Atlanta preseason games knows they're a throwing team. I'm going with Jacquizz Rodgers. Michael Turner's old and busted. Jacquizz Rodgers is going to take that job from him.
All right, so Tim is banking on Jacquizz Rodgers being the main hombre there in Atlanta. Jacquizz Rodgers comes off the board here. Good pick this late if he actually does get a significant amount of carries in that offense. James, where are you headed now with your pick?
Well, I was afraid that Tim was going to take him right in front of me when he was starting to talk about Atlanta. I'm going with Tony Gonzalez. I'm shocked that he's still on the board.
All right, Tony Gonzalez comes off the board here to James at this point. And with that said, I hope he's ready. I hope nobody took his pick. Justin, you are on the clock, my friend.
Brian, do you see a caller with the 203-667-7681?
Hold on. I do not see a caller.
You don't see a caller with a 203-667-76? You do see him, right?
I see a 23522 number.
Well, he's supposed to be making the rest of my picks. He was online. I don't know.
Okay.
He said he was on.
Not a problem.
Walt.
So then just have Walt make your picks?
Yeah, Walt's making my picks. Thank you, and I got to head out.
Do we want to request a song, too, while we're at it?
Thank you, Justin. You have a good night.
Stop.
All right, Walt, you are taking Justin's spot here, my friend. Where is Justin and your squad going at this point?
I think he needs a backup D. Chicago still out there?
Chicago has actually been selected.
Has been selected. Okay. Let's see. Give me the kicker, Sebastian Janikowski.
Sebastian Janikowski from Oakland is coming off the board here, gentlemen, to Walt and Justin's team. Good selection there, Walt. Sirius, you are on the clock. I'm coming over to you, my friend. I know you've been waiting patiently. Who do you got here? Who's going to be on your boys' squad?
I'm going with I'm gonna have to go with oh my God. All right, fine. I'm gonna go with Santonio Holmes.
Santonio Holmes, no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to escape this guy. He follows you around like a bad smell. I'm telling you, Sirius, you can't get away from this guy. All right, we're moving on to Roderick. Roderick, you're up with 2 selections, sir.
Yeah, I don't expect Gary McFadden to last past week 4, so I'm going to go with his backup, Mike Goodson.
All right, Mike Goodson.
Yep.
All right, Mike Goodson is now officially a member of your squad, and can I get the second selection, sir?
Yeah, and a good backup quarterback. I think he's going to break into his own this year, go for over about 4,400 yards, 4,400, and Flacco.
All right, so Joe Flacco comes off the board at this point as well, and with that, Sirius is back on the clock. Sirius, where are you headed now with your next selection, sir?
Wow. Sheesh. You know what? I don't want to do this. I really don't. It's just killing me right now. I'm going to have to go with Anquan Bolden.
All right, Anquan Bolden, Sirius's favorite receiver in the conference, is now a member of boys squad. Justin and Walt's team is on the clock. Walt, where are you guys headed now with this next pick?
I want to go with defense. Buffalo.
All right, so Buffalo comes off the board here, gentlemen. Buffalo is now a member of Justin and Walt's team. James, you are back on the clock, sir.
I am going to take the Seattle Seahawks defense.
All right, so Seattle's defense is now a member of James's squad. Tim, you are on the clock.
I'm going to go Mikel LaShore.
All right, so Mikel LaShore comes off the clock here. And with that, Rodri is back on the clock. Mikel LaShore, let me ask you a question here about Mikel LaShore, Tim. He's not the first running back selected so far from Detroit. And Detroit is not really known as a running team. Now, I know we're kind of getting towards the quote-unquote bottom of the barrel here, you know, as far as runners is concerned. But what is your personal opinion of LaShore, and what do you expect out of him this year?
He will take the job from Kevin Smith when he's 100% healthy and ready to roll. Kevin Smith does have an injury history. And bottom line, you're just basically selecting backups, hoping someone gets hurt right now. And he's my number 6 running back, so he's probably knock on wood, not going to see any time, so that's fine with me.
All right. Well, it's a brutal breakdown, but it is what it is, as they say, gentlemen. So with that, Roderick is on the clock here, and he is about to make his selection, gentlemen, right now. This is the Sports City Chefs Fantasy Football Mock Draft. We're doing our annual draft here, and Roderick has made his selection, gentlemen. Roderick selects tight end Jacob Tamme from Denver. Good pick, Roderick. Very good pick. Mark, you are back on the clock, sir.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's available. New Orleans running back Mark Ingram.
He is still available.
Wow, thank you. Cash it in.
All right. Mark Ingram is now a member of the Madden Jinxed team. Hopefully he doesn't get jinxed himself there, Mark. With that, I'm back on the clock. Man. All right. Show me your TDs. Select Darius Hayward-Bay, wide receiver.
I drafted him.
What's that?
I drafted. Oh, sorry.
Was he already drafted? I don't have him drafted on my list.
I picked Demaryius Thomas.
Okay. All right, sorry about that, folks. Darius Hayward-Bay, wide receiver from Oakland. I'm selecting him here. And with that, Ty, you are on the clock.
Is Beanie Wells available?
No, he is gone, sir. Silence.
Yeah, I thought he was still there. Gotta get it back.
This segment is brought to you by Sports City Chefs as Timeless tries to deliberate between who he is going to select.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a running back. I got 6 of them. You give me Stafford, I'll give you someone.
No, you're okay with Stafford. Yeah, I'm good. Wow.
We're now starting to wheel and deal here on the air. Timeless, going to need a selection, sir.
Do you want to phone a friend? You can call me. I'll give you one right now. You can call me.
We're good. I'll go with Daniel Thomas down there in Miami.
All right, Daniel Thomas, the other running back, if you will, there in Miami, is coming off the board here at this point. With that selection made, Barry is now on the clock with 2 picks. James, if you will, sir.
Okay, we've got Barry on the clock. Let's see. He currently, I just want to make sure I got this correct. His last 2 picks were, in fact, where are his picks?
His last 2 picks were Matt Schaub and C.J. Spiller.
Yeah,
Matt Schaub and C.J. Spiller. Okay, that makes this round 12? Or 13?
This is 13, sir.
This is 13. Okay, very good. In which case he shall take Sidney Rice.
All right, so Sidney Rice comes off the board here to Barry's team, and now here in round 14, gentlemen, we only got 3 picks left here. We are going to go a little bit into to archives, so let's try and do the mad dash, if you will, gentlemen. Who does Barry select here in round 14?
In round 14, he takes Owen Daniels is still available, correct?
Yes.
Okay, then he selects Owen Daniels, and what was his other pick? I'm sorry.
Owen Daniels and Sidney Rice. You just picked him.
I mean, are you not looking at the list?
Dude, you're like bipolar or something.
So many names.
All right. You're looking at his list and you're asking us who you selected. All right. I love you, James. Ty, you're back on the clock, sir. Time to make your pick.
Philly defense available?
Philly's defense is not available.
All right. What about Dallas's defense?
Dallas's defense is available.
I'll take Dallas's defense.
All right, gentlemen, Dallas's defense is now off the board. I don't generally do this, but I have this defense rated pretty high, and they're still available. And I feel like I have to make the selection at this point. I'm going to go with Green Bay's defense here for Show Me Your TDs. Mark, you're on the clock.
I'll go for the who knows who, dice it up. I think he was injured last year, Cedric Benson.
All right, Cedric Benson, recently signed. Good pick. Rodri, you are back on the clock, sir, so as soon as you can get your pick in, the sooner the better. We appreciate that. Mark, let me ask you this. As Tim said, I know we're just kind of hoping and praying at this point. Cedric Benson, what was the reason, the logic, if you will, for the selection of Cedric Benson at this point?
I mean, it's low risk at this point. Being in a potent offense like Green Bay, you got to figure they're going to have guys that are going to have an opportunity at the goal line, and if Cedric Benson can be that guy that can punch it in, he could be fantasy gold this year. So why not late round? I don't see any Green Bay running back as the clear-cut guy, so you got to roll the dice. And I saw Cedric Benson, I figured why not? He's burned me in years past, so he's eventually got to make up.
That's right. He owes you at this point. All right, so Rodri, yes, he is available, sir. Is that your selection? Just type YES. Waiting for Rodri.
Well, while we're waiting, could I get TP's, not the Ced Benson pick, or not the hold on, not the Dallas defense
Daniel
pick,
Thomas.
the
Daniel Thomas, man. Daniel Thomas.
Daniel Thomas. Good to do.
Rodri, I need confirmation. James? I just want to make sure that it's the wide receiver that you're referring to there on the Niners, that's who you're asking for. Just type YES. Thank you, sir. Rodri selects Mario Manningham, wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. Tim, you're back on the clock.
I'm going to take running back from Arizona, Ryan Williams. Beanie Wells is already injured for next year, so Ryan Williams could see a ton of carries.
All right, so Ryan Williams comes off the board here to Tim's team. Head on over to James. James, give me your final pick. We are going to go into archives, so if you do want to listen in, call in now, 917-889-9592, to listen to the remaining 2 rounds of the mock draft. James, go ahead with your selection.
I am going to select Mason Crosby, the kicker from Green Bay.
All right, so the kicker for Green Bay comes off the board. Walt, it is now your selection, sir.
I'm going to go with the rookie tight end from Indianapolis, Kobe Fleener.
All right. Kobe Fleener comes off the board here, gentlemen, to Walt and Justin. Good pick. And with that, Sirius, you are on the clock.
Oh, wow. Give me 20 seconds there. Wow.
Just in case you were wondering, Nate Kading is still available.
I'm going to go ahead and pass on Nate Kading. I'm going Santana Moss.
All right, so Santana Moss comes off the board at this point. 2 Sirius. Rick, you are on the clock, sir, with your 2 picks. And when you make your second pick, somebody confirm this for me. I believe this will be your last pick.
And if my count is right, we will be in the with the next 2 picks. We shall be in the 15th round,
right.
which would give us 1 more.
All right, so go ahead, Roderick. Excuse me. You have 2 picks, and you'll have 1 more selection.
Okay. Oh, I have 1 pick after. 3 picks. Okay. Let me get. I think is Gerard Cook still available?
Jared Cook is available, tight end from Tennessee.
Correct.
Okay, Jared Cook is now a member of your squad. And what is your second selection, sir?
I'm going to need a defense. I want a Green Bay's defense, but I will go down and I will look at Cincinnati's defense. I like them, if they're available.
Yep, Cincinnati defense is now on your squad. Sirius, up on the clock, sir.
Oh, wow. This is getting close to crunch time. Let me do this. Let me get me a, I'm going to go with the Cincinnati defense taken.
Cincinnati's defense literally went the pick before you right now.
Oh, dang. I'm sitting here playing poker online. All right. If that is the case, I'm going to go with...
The Cleveland Brown defense, however, is available.
Do that. I already messed up one time trying to pick it. I'm going to go... Damn. I know we're trying to get out of here, fellas. I know we're trying to get out of here. Give me Heath Miller.
All right, Heath Miller, the tight end from Pittsburgh, comes off the board here. And with that, Walt, you are back on the clock, sir.
Okay, I need a quarterback. Give me the rookie, Andrew Luck.
All right, Andrew Luck comes off the board. Thank you, Walt. And with that, James, you are back on the clock, sir.
I believe that I will, I just want to check my list one last time. And has Reggie Wayne been selected?
Selected, yes, sir.
Yes, I have him.
You bastard.
I'll trade him to you.
No thanks. I know how you trade. I shall go with Greg Little, the wide receiver from the Cleveland Browns.
Good pick.
Bastard.
Good pick. You are on the clock.
All right. Can I get Rod's 14th round pick right before Cincy so I don't look stupid and say the same thing?
Before Cincy, he picked Jared Cook.
Okay, I wasn't going to say the same thing. All right, that works out fine. Let me go ahead and get wide receiver. Let me go with Denarius Moore.
All right, Denarius Moore comes off the board here for Tim's squad. Lottery, you are back on the clock, sir. We've got if my mathematical skills are correct here, gentlemen, I believe we have two more picks. We have
That's correct. Yep.
2 picks, correct. With that, Lottery selects RG3. For those of you who have been under a rock somewhere, RG3 is Robert Griffin, the third quarterback from Washington. And with that, Mark, you are back on the clock, sir.
Well, Justin Michael Vick, I got to get a backup quarterback. Injured, why not? Josh Freeman.
Josh Freeman. Here we go. Come on down, Mr. Freeman. All right, with my next selection, goodness gracious, I'll select Jason Hansen, kicker from Detroit. Ty, you're on the clock.
Is Tim Hightower available?
Yes, he is.
Tim Hightower.
All right, Tim Hightower. James, just because I know you're going to ask me in a second here, Ty, select Tim Hightower. Barry's 2 picks.
Actually, I was hoping for your pick.
I selected Jason Hansen, kicker from Detroit.
Well, it's about time you're coming around. Okay.
Yeah, notice the least valuable position, though, came from your team.
I'll take solace in that. Okay, so with that, I believe these are going to be Barry's last 2 picks, correct?
Yes, I believe that is correct, folks.
Okay, so he did not give me a kicker ranking, so I'm going to have to search through his full ranking for kickers. That's if he gave me kicker ranking. Okay, he did not give me a kicker ranking, so I will go off of my kicker rankings, which will give me nothing either. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Here, let me
Jesus
just.
Christ,
I'm not
dude.
going
Who do you want?
give you a
Nate
bunch
Keating,
of guys.
Garrett Hartley. I mean, Shane
Bonus,
Graham, Nick Folk.
Nugent.
Go
You've
ahead.
got Matt Bryant, Dan Bailey. You've got Shane Graham, Alex Henry.
Neil Rackers.
We're gonna go with Lawrence Tynes for Mr.
Okay,
Villain.
there you go. He's going with his own. Thank you.
Yep, Lawrence Tynes, and finally,
pick him a backup kicker.
No, give him somebody that nobody has even heard of because he didn't show up for the draft.
There you go. Now,
we'll go with Stephen Ridley. Stephen Ridley.
That's not a crap pick. That's not good.
No, that's BS.
Yeah, that's actually a guy that I would.
It's the highest guy on his board. It's the highest guy on his board. Now stop your complaining and continue the draft.
All right, folks. So with my last pick, you know what? I selected this guy a lot higher than people probably anticipated.
What about TP? What about TP?
Okay.
Yeah.
Ty, I guess I'll let you make a pick.
You've been doing this all night to me too, huh? I'm gonna go with Kendall Hunter.
Oh man. All right. So Kendall Hunter comes off the board here.
Why you say "oh man" for?
Nothing. So I selected this guy pretty high, Peterson. And I gotta get me a little insurance here, so I'm gonna select Toby Gerhart, running back from Minnesota, and with that, Mark, you're on the clock.
Okay, I believe I have to take a kicker, right? This is the last round.
You have to take a kicker.
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that Alex Henry from Philadelphia is available.
Yes, he is.
I'll take him.
Just so you know, Mark, Blair Walsh of Minnesota is also available.
Okay.
Okay. Rorty, I'm going to come on over to you, sir. It looks like Rorty's actually already locked in here. He's going with the tight end from Cincinnati, Jermaine Gresham.
Wow.
With his last pick. Does Rorty have a kicker? Because I'm not sure.
No, he doesn't. I call bullshit on that.
Have to select a kicker, sir. Unfortunately,
we're on archives. I can cuss, right? We're on archives now.
Yeah,
he's like
online
Yahoo
radio.
League, and Yahoo makes you fill out your entire roster, sir. So unfortunately, sir, I'll go ahead and select Gresham for you, and I'll trade him for your number one pick. So we're going to need a kicker. And just so you know, like I told Mose, Blair Walsh is available, sir.
Doesn't have any sound.
All right. Drum roll, please. And the kicker that Rorty selects, by the way, he's sorry, is Rorty, you're going to have to learn how to not... Rodri, you're going to have to learn to not hunt and peck here, buddy. You're going to have to use all those fingers.
Can't blame him now.
All right. And his last selection is...
Oh, he has no sound.
Crosby is gone, sir. Somebody type it in. Crosby is gone. Here, you know what? Let's help the poor guy out. Somebody type in for him. Just type in Prater, Bailey.
Vinatieri.
Something like, just type in a couple guys for the poor guy. Prater, there you go.
Oh, no, that's Mark. Wait, Mark said that. He said the best available, so pick the best available kicker.
Give him Matt Prater because on my list he is the best available. So, Mark, if you could, he got Matt Prater from Denver. So Rodri gets I can't even say his name. Rodri gets Matt Prater from Denver, and with that, Tim, you're back on the clock, sir.
Let me get Nate Kading.
All right, Nate Kading does come off the board here. I tried to offer him up earlier. Nobody wanted him. James, you're on the clock.
Okay, frantically going down, I'm going to take Felix Jones.
All right, Felix Jones. the talented runner from Dallas. You already have a kicker, sir?
I do. My kicker is Mason Crosby.
All right, very good. Walt, you are up, sir. The last pick of the draft. I know you have a kicker, so draft board is wide open for you, my friend.
Okay. Is David Akers still out there?
David Akers was gone. He was the first kicker taken.
Is John Casey?
John Casey. I'm not seeing him selected. What
kicker from New Orleans?
Okay, I got unless and you know what? I'm just trying to help. Oh, here we go. I got him. Yeah, Casey is available.
Okay, yeah, let me get him. John Casey.
All right, John Casey, kicker from New Orleans, is now on Justin and Walt's team. Thank you, Walt, for filling in there. Serious. Last pick, my friend. Stop poker for half a second here and give me your last pick of the Sports City Chef Fantasy Football Draft.
I'm going to go with Michael Williams, wide receiver from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right, Mike Williams, hoping for a rebound here. Thank you, Sirius, for joining us. And Roderick, you started the draft off, so it's only fitting that the last pick come from you, sir. Give me the last pick of the 2012 Sports City Chefs mock draft, or mock fantasy football draft.
I would take if Randall Cobb, is he still available?
Yeah, Randall Cobb is available.
Relevant. That is my man. Relevant.
All right, Randall Cobb is now a member of Roderick's squad. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for participating. I know it was a long and somewhat drawn out process here. James, appreciate you doing what you're doing. From all of us here at the Sports City Chefs Network, just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in, continuing to support us in what we do, and we really appreciate the continued support and the people who continue to tune in.
Blog Talk Radio, where millions of hosts and listeners gather.